All right, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College. As part of the Rankin Technical College AWD, or Application and Web Development 1100 C# programming class, online programming class for the spring 2024 semester, I'm doing a series of video presentations that are based on the PowerPoint slides for the book we're using for the class. That book is Murock's C# 8th edition. And unfortunately, I was going through this in the last chapter, but unfortunately, I got sidetracked. I sidetracked myself. No, but no one to blame. It's not a blame thing. All right, but I've created this, and we talked about these. We did go in and we set up the months. All right, in that combo box. We set up the years in that combo box. We set up the list box. All right. These were just some additional examples. I set it up so that the radio buttons were both turned off when the program started and that the checkbox was turned off when the program started. All right. Now, this here is checking the status of a radio button. All right. So what it's saying is if the check changed means we pressed the credit card one here. Okay? We have pressed that. So let's go in. He's got RDO now, credit card. And that is up here. And mine is RAD credit card. That's the way I was taught to make radio buttons. All right, but if we bring this up and if I put this in here, whoops, let me try that again. Get rid of all of this stuff here. There we go. And this. And this. All right, so we've got here if the credit card is checked, and that's not R, that's RAD with mine. So if that credit card is checked, call enable controls. Otherwise, call disable controls. I'm getting two errors because I haven't written an enable controls or a disable controls. So private void enable controls. There's the first one. You can see it's already removed the error that we had there. And this will be disable controls. All right, so those errors are now all gone. All right, let's go back because I want to get through this and I don't want to waste anybody's time. All right, so this is the code that gets the value of a checkbox. All right, so is default billing checked? All right. Check default, and I called it something else. Is it checked? All right, we can grab this. Okay, and let's see. What I will do is I will take this line of code that is here, and I will just put it under enable controls. We'll put it right there. All right, and mine is not called this. Mine is CHK set as default billing method. Okay? All right. Let's continue on then. Now, the tab order, we've already done this. It's going up and doing view tab order. So we've done this already. I'm not going to go through that with you. All right. Help for the date time picker class. All right. There is a control that's called a date time picker. You probably, or let's just put it this way, there's a chance you've already seen this somewhere or other in your experiences. Not even necessarily in programming. I mean, if you're online and you're trying to set up a doctor's appointment, for example, a lot of times they'll have the date time picker. Now, the next thing they did was this add new item dialog. And this was adding the new form. Now, I did this. All right. And what they want to do in here is they want to create a new form And let's see, it should look like this. So this is the FRM customer, it looks like. All right, there's a customer name, there's a payment method, a select payment, a save, and an exit. This is the FRM customer. All right. There's also the FRM payment. That's the one we've already done. So let's, as we did before, let's grab this. Let me copy it over to here. Let me highlight just what I want. All right, very similar to what we did before when we built the other one that looked like this. All right, so now we're going to build this one. And you'll notice when you look, we're going to call it FRM customer. It'll have customer right there. All right, for the text, it'll have here a label that says customer name and a drop down with customer names, I would guess. A label that says payment method, and it looks like a group box, but I'm not sure. This will say select payment, all right, and a save and an exit button. All right, so let's build this thing right now. This will be FRM customer. No, I don't need this one for now. All right, this is the one that we want to build. So I'm going to come in here. Right now we have just FRM payment, and I'm going to add a form, and the form will be called FRM customer.cs. Now, just because I'm a little anal this way, this one right here, it's pink. I could care less, but the size of it is right here. And I'm going to make the size of the other one the same thing, the customer one. So I'm going to go to size here, and I'm going to make it the same size. I just like doing that. Now I made it the other one pink. This one is going to say customer. It's already called FRM customer, and that's good. All right, and let's go and change the background color in this. It doesn't matter. Let's make it green. It's fine. There's that. So let's build out this form right now. We'll start with the two buttons down here, a save and an exit. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to here, and I'm going to grab one of these, in fact, the exit button. I'm going to copy it, and I'm just going to paste it. Okay, and we're going to have to move it, of course. All right, so there will be our save and our exit buttons. This one's already called exit, BTN exit, and it says exit. All right, this one will say save. All right, not AVE, save, sorry. Save, and it'll be called BTN save. All right, now as far as I remember from before, let's look again. All right, let's put in a label and a drop down. And that label will say customer name. So let's come in here with a label. I'm going to make it darker. All right, and I'm going to set the auto size to false. Probably is too wide, but that's okay. This is going to be LBL customer name. All right, and it'll say customer name. I'll change all these sizes. I can do it now, it doesn't matter. So customer name. All right, let's do the text align thingy here and center it. And again, we will come in, I guess, and we will make it nice and big. There's that. All right, now we need our drop down, our combo box. Okay, and that'll be here. That should be hopefully big enough. We will again all right, so these two are now the same size. Okay, all right, so that's done. This is LBL customer name. So this can be CBO customer name. All right, so we've got that. Let's just look at what we have to continue to build here. Now, I'm not sure what this is, but this is looks like a button that says select payment. All right, and this looks like a label. So payment method. Let's do a button here. And this button again will say select payment. So this will be BTN select payment. And it will actually say select payment on it. All right, that's good. I don't know what this next thing is. I'm going to go and look in the book in a minute because I want to make it right. And we need a label here that says payment method. Move this down a bit. And this will be LBL payment method. And it will say payment method. All right, now let's go back into our text here. All right, code that defines the entry point. Well, one thing is when you run a program, I want you to see this. We have not looked at this file yet, program.cs. This tells you when the program starts to run what you should do. Okay, well, and if you don't understand what I mean, let me prove it to you. So set as startup. This will bring up the pink form first. There it is. Okay, if I go back in and change this from FRM payment, if I change this to FRM customer, I have to spell it right, to S, F to customer like that. And then I go back to my customer. Well, let's just change a couple things here. Basically, I just want to set this to center screen. Now, if I run it, notice what comes up first, the customer form. All right, so we have our choice when we do this. If you've got multiple forms when you start up a program, you can select which one of these you want to run first. All right, it's totally up to you. All right, so let's continue on here. So the payment form displayed as a dialog. We've got all this. Properties for creating custom dialogs. Control box, minimize and maximum. What are those? Well, notice there's none of those are up here. So let's go back to here and look at our current form, the pink one, FRM payment. And you notice we've got a minimize, a maximize, and an exit here. I'm going to click there. And where it says minimize box, it says true. I'm going to change it to false. All right, so there's no minimize box. I'm going to go to maximum box. I think this is how you do it. And I'm going to set that to false. Notice they're both gone. All right. And I don't know what the other one is, but we'll get it in just a moment. So we have removed those. and it was control box, I believe. So let's look at that one. Sorry. So let's go to control box up here, and we'll set that to false. Now you'll notice none of those are here anymore because we set the property on all of those to false. All right, code that creates and displays a custom dialog. All right. Well, this looks very, very similar, not the same. I did a hide of the current form, but other than that, this is pretty much what we did before. All right. Now, this says form payment form. All right. And where do we put that? Okay. Well, we're going to look for that in just a moment. All right. So a statement that sets a dialog result property and a statement that sets a tag property. Tag is going to be very important as we get on in here. Not for right this second, but as we go on. Code that uses the result of a dialog and the tag property. All right. What we want to do, all right, with this payment form, we've got are you sure you want to say yeah. This is the kind of thing that we want to have in here. So a customer name, and once we've selected a customer name, we want to have this stuff in here. So we want to be able to possibly either show everything that's in here or change everything that's in there. So the payment dialog for a credit card payment. So is this the payment dialog for a bill payment? Let's look. The payment form displayed as a dialog contains two forms. No, I don't know what the heck they're actually doing here. The payment dialog for billing a customer. So if it's bill customer, this, of course, none of this should be showing or it should be grayed out. So the code for the customer form. And they have, what, 5, 6 parts in here. And then they have the code for the payment form. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. And that's it for the rest of the chapter. All right. Let's start with the customer form here. We do have this form customer. I'm going to start grabbing stuff that's in here, and I'm going to use their code. All right. Now, I'm going to probably have to change things because the chances are not only pretty good, they're very good that I use some names that they didn't use in here. All right. So let me copy all that. And let me jump back into my customer form. Now, this is the payment form. So I'm going to the customer form right here. And I'm going to right mouse click and choose View Code. Okay. Now, underneath here, I'm going to paste all that stuff in. All right. So FRM customer load, that's okay. So this was a combo box that's called names. What did I call mine? CBO customer name. Let's just change it to what they have. So we'll call it names. That's fine. All right. Now our errors are gone. We're adding Mike Smith and Nancy Jones. All right. We've got LBL payment text change. So I must have called one of my labels for payment. All right. LBL payment. I must have changed that. So let's keep going. Again, I'm just copying what they have in the text. All right. Like I said, good chance I'll have to change some of this code because my names their names are probably going to be different. Just telling you that right now. All right, so let's go back. All right, so let's look at what's in here. LBL payment dot text. Well, what is their LBL payment, first of all? Because it says I don't have an LBL payment. All right, and that's okay. This says select payment. All right, I thought at least that was a button. You know what I should do? That is, I should just go and I don't like doing this. I like typing it in myself. I mean, I'm asking you guys to type it in, but let's do this. Let's go over. I'm going to go over to the C drive, Muroc. This is on my machine. C sharp, etc. C sharp. You've got this stuff. So student download, book apps, chapter 10, payment, right there. All right. So it's just called payment. So let me grab this, copy it here. Let me bring this up. And there's the two forms. So here's their customer form right here, or it's going to come up. Okay, it says to run this, you need to install .NET Core. Would you like to download it now? Oh, geez Louise, I don't want to. But, you know, say yes. I don't know. Don't need that at all. It's targeting a version which is not installed. I don't want to do that. So I think I can fix that like this. Project, properties, and it's got here target framework 7.0. Oh my goodness. I am running I'm running 8.0. So I'm going to change that to 8.0 and see if that'll fix everything. No idea if it will or not. All right. So let's come back to here. I don't want this. I don't want to install that because I've already got it, a version in here. I've got version 8, and I don't want to install another version. You can continue working while this is in the background. Well, lovely. We set that to 8.0, and let's set that to 8.0 also. And let's set that to 8.0 also. I don't know if I'm making this better or worse, but all right, I'm not going to do this. This is what I'm going to do. Let's see. It will let me look at the code. Good. I'm going to grab every flippin' bit of code that's in here. Every bit. Up to right there. So other than partial class, all right, everything from bool is saved on down. And I need that one too. All right, so copy that. All right, so there's that. And again, they're going to have different names than I have. Tough beans. I'll have to fix mine. All right, so this is the payment. U code. And again, I'm going to get rid of everything that's in here. All right, and I'm copying in their code. Again, I might have lots of errors. I don't care right now. All right, so there is what I have right now. Now let's go over to the other one. So this was FRM customer. Let's go over to FRM payment and let's do the same thing. Okay. So again, I'm going to grab everything that's here. It's pretty much what I already had. All right. It's not identical. Again, some of the names are different. All right. So I'm now going to come back to here on mine. This was mine. And I'm going to, again, remove virtually everything that's in here. Paste this in. All right, now I'm going to start making changes so I can hopefully make mine look like theirs. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is, this should be in mine. So, yeah, of course it's going to do that. Brother. I'm going to have to change these so that they use my names. So this is going to have to be rad. And this is going to have to be rad. And this is going to have to be whatever I call mine. So it's CHK set as default billing method. And this is going to have to be rad. Now, I think I fixed everything because mine was very close to theirs. So that should be everything that's in here, in the payment. All right, now if I go back to design mode for payment, where is payment? Here's payment. It says cannot process rad credit card. Oh, brother. We're going to fix it, so don't worry about it. All right, so let's see what we got in here. The problem is I called mine rad. They call theirs RDO. All right, so let's go over to the payment. We're in the payment. Let's go over to the customer. And let's look at what's in here. All right. Now, where it's got this LBL payment.txt, I'm going to comment that out because I don't know for sure what that is. So everything that's referring to that, I'm commenting out. All right. Okay, now how many errors do I still have? 3. FRM payment does not contain a definition for RAD credit card. Does not contain something for button clear. All right. Does not contain something for button exit. So it doesn't like any of these. Okay, not a problem. We're going to fix them right now, I hope. All right. definition for credit card. All right, so let's look at the code here. So this has to be RAD credit card. And we don't have anything in here for our buttons. We got rid of one of our errors, but not all of our errors. All right, so let's see. If I come in, let's go back to our All-American form here. This is what I want. All right. Somehow, when I removed my code, all right, it lost some stuff that it needs. So we're putting it in right now. So right where we have this is going to be BTN clear. And then we're going to need another one down here for BTN exit. Now I'm hoping that's going to, no pun intended, but clear up most of the problems that I'm having right now. We'll see. All right. With the same parameter types. Okay. The call is ambiguous. So it says we already have this in there. So I'm going to comment it out. All right. So we now have this. And with that button exit, got it here. And it's telling us that we have it here also. We should actually have an error in here someplace. Button exit. Okay, I just commented out a line in here. Oh, brother. Okay, I've got the wrong one open. Close that. There we go. Customer payment program, customer payment, main. I don't want that open anymore in main here. Okay, if I put this in the wrong spot, there's my problem. I need these two things. Okay, I need those, but I don't need them in this file. So let's do a file. I'm going to exit that, and I'm not going to save. I'm not going to save there either. All right, now I'm going to bring this back up. This should be my program. And it appears as though, okay, it's still bringing up the All-American thing. Let's get rid of that. We don't want that anymore. All right. So let's bring up customer. There that is. Payment. There that is. All right. Now, payment and customer. All right. I don't need this or this. Payment. Let's put the program in here. Customer. All right, there's virtually, I have no code in here in my customer one. You can see it. All right, when I was going to add that stuff before, I was adding it in the wrong place. So let's look in here. Don't want that. All right, I'm going to grab every bit of this. This is going to screw something up. I can just tell you that right now. All right, this will screw something up. I don't know what, but it'll screw up something. All right, I'm going to copy that. This is from our books code, and I'm putting it down here in my code. All right. Again, like I said, look in here. It's given a bunch of errors, rather. It's okay. Now, when I try to go back again to this, it may not let me. Oh, it is going to. Good. All right. The first thing I want to do is I want to change this. This will get rid of some of my errors because they call theirs CBO names, not CBO customer name. So it's just going to be CBO names and hit enter. Now a bunch of these errors hopefully are going to go away now. All right, so we now have in here CBO names. Okay, and you can see it cut down a lot of those errors. All right, I'm down to just these LBL payment. All right, and I don't know what the heck that is. I mean, I thought that was LBL payment right there. All right, but I don't still know what this thing in here is. Okay, so it says payment method, select payment. Now what I have to do is go back to the books version. Oh my goodness. Go back to the books version. This is going to run so much smoother when we get it in class. Just take my word for it, please. All right. Now, can I look at this? It will still not let me look at it. Okay. I don't know what that is. I wish I did, and I can't open this. Look in the, let's see. See, every error I still have in here is in this LBL payment. I don't know if that's what this thing is, this LBL payment. I don't know. So this is called LBL payment method. Let's come in here and do this. All right, I'm going to come in here. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to pull this down like this. This is not going to be, say, payment method. This is going to be LBL payment. All right there. And as far as its look, I don't want it to have anything in here. All right. No, that's the. All right, it says here payment method. I don't want that there. There. Now, when I look at this in the book, if that is indeed what this is, standard doc enabled custom menu strip, border style. Now I'm going to make this gray, same color as this. So let's click on that. We'll go to background color. And I'll just choose that. It's pretty much the same thing. Now, I don't know if what I did was right or wrong. I have no idea. All right, that's the unfortunate part. But if I go and look in here now, in my code for this, I have no errors anymore. There are no errors in here. Everything looks correct. All right, now let's get rid of these because they're not needed. And let's go to our FRM payment. All right, this is the other one. And let's look and see if we have errors in here. And it looks like we don't. All right, now my OK, right, is in here. It's not doing anything right now. And this disable controls and enable controls aren't doing anything. All right. But let's come in to the program.cs file here. And this is not supposed to be, it is supposed to be customer, I believe. So let's run it. All right, I'm just going to leave it like that, and we're going to look at it. We're going to look at it in class. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, we're already up to 42 minutes again, is we will take time in class to go over this. So even though I may sound like I'm coming out over here from left field or whatever, we're going to go through all this. I don't like this example at all. All right, it seems to be fairly incompatible with what I have. Okay, so what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to stop lecturing in a couple minutes, but I want you to see what I'm going to do next. I'm going to go down to my payroll program here, and I'm getting quite a few iterations of this payroll program. So can I make a folder that's called payroll? I don't know. I'm just going to call this payroll apps. Okay. And I'm going to put in here payroll 01, 02, 03, 04, and 05. So I'm going to move those here. And this is my payroll 06 now that I'm working on. You may or may not remember this from what we did before. All right. And I'm going to bring this up. We're going to bring up our GUI. We're not doing anything right now with console. We made it look like this. All right. Now, with what we're doing in here right now, for the birth date, you can see this. For the birth date, what we're doing is we are setting the birth date up as a label. We're going to change that in just a minute. We're going to do two things here. All right, if you remember when I ran this, so if I come in here, that isn't good, but let's see. The name ETN hire date does not exist. Oh yeah, we don't want to get all this hire stuff we removed. Thought we removed it, but we didn't. All right. Still giving me a couple errors. We're going to fix them right now, so don't worry about it. Hire date can now be removed. And one more place. Hire date. Okay. All right. It should run now. Okay. So if I come in here and I put in Jeff, Scott, and my birth date, I want to make myself, let's say, 40 years old. All right. So let's say I'll be 41 this year. Let's just say that. So that would make 20. We're in 24 and minus 17. I'm going to say 1983. So I'm going to say 10, 10, 1983. All right. And then for the hours worked, I'll just put in 40 and 25. I want to see if it's going to say that I'm 40 years old. So calculate, age 40, hours work 40, everything's cool. Okay? It's figuring out my age correctly. All right, that's good. Why should you even care about that? Well, I want to show you. All right? I'm going to change this in just a couple minutes. But the other thing that I'm going to do in here is previously when we did this, we were coming in here and putting in, if you remember, that message box. I'm going to change that, and I'm going to add a couple things in here from what we've just started working on, such as, Jeff, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to put in a list box right here, and that's going to hold all of the individual employees' information in just a moment. So I'm going to take that, like I have been doing, make it size 20, bold, and Arial. Okay, so that's good. The other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to change this. I'm going to make this 3 drop downs. One drop down is going to hold the month. One drop down is going to hold the day. And one drop down is going to hold the year. All right. Now, let's get rid of this. And again, it's going to cause some errors. Please don't let that bother you. All right. So I'm going to delete that. And I'm going to put in 3 drop downs or combo boxes. All right. So here's the first one. All right. And they're going to have to be fairly small because I don't have that big of an area in here. Here's the second one. And here's the third one. All right. And I'm going to make them even smaller then. How about that? Let's get rid of these 2. And delete. Come on. Delete. There we go. And I'm going to take this one. I'll make it about like that. But I'm still going to make it, for the font, I'm going to make it size 20, bold, and Arial. There it is. Okay? So copy, paste. And paste. All right. Now, I'm going to get, there's going to be errors in my program now when I try to run this. It's okay. But what I want to do, this should always remain the same. This is the month. That should always be 1 to 12. This is the year. All right. That should remain the same. That's going to be, if you remember, we're filling those up from those arrays that we have. All right. We've already got an array for months and an array for years. This one will change depending on what the month is. All right. So let's quickly, and I mean quickly, fix these errors. All right. So this whole try that's in here right now, this whole try that's in here for this is the try, the thing that we did earlier, that I spent all that time on. All right. I'm getting rid of it. Now, looks like I didn't get all of it. It's the birth date. So let me get rid of the catch as well. All right. Now, any place I'm still referring to it, it's going to give me an error. All right. So here's one place, private bool input birth date. Okay. And it says not all paths return a value. So let's just return true here. Return true. We're ripping this thing apart so we can put it back together again. This does not exist in the current context, so we don't need this anymore either. All right, but the one last thing that I want to do is I want to set this up so when we start the program, when the program starts, all right, I want to fill this up and I want to fill this up. Okay, So this is a drop-down combo box, whatever you want to call it. So this one right here is going to be called CBO month. This one is going to be called CBO day. And this is going to be called CBO year. All right. Now, when the program starts, so in my load event here, when it starts, I want to fill up, I want to remember these names here. Okay. I've got one called birth years, and I've got one that's called months. Okay. So in here, and I might want to call it in other places, so I'm going to call fill up months drop down. Okay, and when we get done, we're going to fill up years drop down. We're not going to do days. Okay, all right. So this is months drop down. This is the years. All right. Let's do a for loop. For int LCV loop control variable equals 0. LCV is less than months dot length. All right. And we want to fill up our combo box. So CBO month should have really been months, but that's okay. Dot items dot add. And I'm going to add months LCV. Now, what I want to see, I just want to run this and see if this is filled up the first combo box with 0, 1 through 12. So let's look. It may work, it may not work. There it is. That's exactly what we want in here. And what we'll do is we will say CBO month. Let's change this to months. And month is fine. I'll leave it at month. That's fine. All right. CBO month dot selected index equals 0. So I want to see if when it comes up, if it's got the first month in there. Great. Okay. Now we can, if we want, we can put in here, we can add month, month, day, day, year, 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 year. We'll probably add that in there so you can see it. All right, so all that's there. Let's see if we can do the same thing now with year. All right, we're going to be using a different array, but we're doing the same thing. All right, so this is going to be whatever we called it. This is birth years. Birth years.text. CBO, I think it was a year, wasn't it? Year.items.add birth years LCV. And then CBO year selected index equals 0. So let's see if we've now filled that one up. All right, so we now have our months And we have our years. Perfect. Beautiful. All right. Really, really good. All right. Now, I am going to take this one right here, and I'm going to make this one a little wider because it's got the years in it. All right. So let me do a file, save all, and see if I made it look a little nicer. There you go. All right. Last thing I want to do, and then we're going to stop, and we'll finish it in a minute. But here where it says birth date, I want to change this from birth date to birth date, month, month, day, day, year, 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 like that. Now, there's not enough room for it. That's okay. We're going to stretch out our labels. There we go. So we're letting the user know that it's month, month, day, day, year, 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 year. All right. So there's two things I have to do when we get back. Okay. Number one, instead of filling up that message box, I want to fill up the list box. But I only want to fill it up with the employee's first name, last name, birth date, hours worked, hourly rate, and gross pay. I don't want these final totals in here. All right. I don't want those in there. See if I can pretty this up a tad here. I don't know if I make it look better or worse or what. Just trying to give it a little more uniform look here. There. I think that looks a little nicer. There we go. So what I want to do is fill this up after I figured out all this, and I want to make sure I've got their age in there too, based on what we enter here. Okay. Now the good news is I should be able to still use some of that formula stuff I had before. Even though I removed it, I'll grab it from the old copy of the program. All right. All right. Last thing, I guess, I'm going to move this down. It's way down here. I'm going to move this down. And this. There we go. That looks pretty decent. So I want to fill that up, and I want to make this work. So let me do a file, save all, and we will pick this up, finish this up, and go on to the next chapter.